Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC MMA Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I am your co-host, Sarah. I am joined by Tate, and we have a great show for you today. We will be covering potential replacement options for UFC 303, Saturday's boxing match between Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva. And stick around for segment 3 when we will be talking about Dustin Poirier's comments after UFC 302. Before we start, I would like to remind you to like and follow the show. Also, we do get a number of comments and questions that come in during a show. So if you go to gsmcpodcast.net, you can leave a tip or a donation that will put your question at the top of our queue, ensuring that we see it. Again, that is gsmcpodcast.net. Tate, how are you doing?
Hello, Miss Sarah. We're here to talk. We're going to be talking a little MMA.
A little boxing, which is unusual for us.
I like it. Okay.
Yes. So, all right, let's go ahead and I don't know why I switched to two persons when I could have just stayed over here. But anyway, it's all good. As UFC 303 approaches, uncertainty looms over the highly anticipated matchup between Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, scheduled to headline the event during International Fight Week. The excitement took a sudden turn when a press conference in Dublin, Ireland, intended to build anticipation for the fight, was abruptly postponed just hours before its scheduled start on June 3rd. This unexpected delay has left fans and the MMA community speculating about the fate of the bout. Ariel Helwani's recent reports added fuel to the uncertainty, initially suggesting the UFC's optimistic outlook regarding McGregor's participation. However, subsequent developments have painted a more fluid picture, with the organization exploring potential replacements amidst continued ambiguity from McGregor and Chandler's camps. The situation remains in flux as the UFC strives to secure a viable main event for UFC 303. In light of these developments, attention has turned to several potential contenders who could step into the spotlight should McGregor be unable to compete. One prominent candidate is Max Holloway, a former opponent of McGregor and one of the sport's most accomplished featherweights, known for his striking prowess and fan-friendly fighting style. Holloway's recent foray into the lightweight division, coupled with his impressive performance against Justin Gaethje, has positioned him as a compelling replacement option. Another contender in the discussion is Alexander Volkanovski, the former UFC featherweight champion, known for his versatility and willingness to take fights on short notice. Despite recent setbacks, Volkanovski's experience and fighting spirit makes him a credible candidate to challenge Chandler in a potential headline bout. His previous willingness to step up on short notice underscores his commitment to the sport and readiness to seize opportunities. Arman Tsarukyan has also emerged as a contender following his standout victory over Charles Oliveira at UFC 300, solidifying his status as a top lightweight contender. A matchup between Tsarukyan and Chandler could serve as a pivotal moment in Tsarukyan's career, providing an opportunity to showcase his skills against a seasoned opponent and potentially elevate his profile within the division. From a strategic standpoint, each potential replacement offers distinct advantages and narratives that could appeal to fans and maintain the event's competitive integrity. The UFC faces the challenge of balancing star power with competitive matchups, ensuring that UFC 303 remains a must-watch event for MMA enthusiasts worldwide. Now, Tate, we talked about this yesterday, and had some thoughts about the event itself, but now they're talking about potential replacements. What are your thoughts on the three that were speculated upon?
All three of these would be great fights. All three. And as I start thinking about it, and as I'm thinking about some of the fights and going through, there's two that really stick out in my head. The first one, Volkanovski versus Chandler. If you're talking about, a fight where there's two guys that's going to come in there and really lay it completely out on the line, styles-wise, that fight is going to deliver fireworks. Two guys that are very similar in many ways. I kind of look at both of these. This would be a fight that I would love to see as far as producing action. You're not going to get in the ring with Chandler with Michael Chandler is going to, he has that go ahead, confront you style that's going to force action. Volkanovski is a person that will not wither from the pressure, and actually embrace the pressure that Chandler brings in. So I thought that's an interesting fight. But if you're looking at this and what we know about this coming up event is it was the fastest sellout in UFC history. The seats, I mean, there's, this event has been selling like crazy. And these people are coming to see a blockbuster headline. Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor. There's going to be some upset people if Conor doesn't show. I could see this being a situation where, it does not look, if Conor doesn't show, this is not going to look good on him. And might I say, this is when Conor has to start thinking about, is he done with the MMA world? Especially when you look at and you say, the last time since 2016 that Conor won, he won the double champ. He's won one time since 2016. It's 2024. Now, a lot of that's been inactivity, but is this the end of Conor as far as should he start thinking about giving it up? Now, but if you're the UFC and you have a bunch of people that are coming to see Conor McGregor and you're looking for a box office fight, there's only one fight. Chandler versus Max Holloway. No one's going to be disappointed if you have Chandler versus Max Holloway, two marquee names. If you're not going to have Conor McGregor, there's going to be some disappointment. But if you come in there and you say, we're going to replace McGregor, I know you're disappointed, but we're going to give you Max Holloway versus Michael Chandler, I'm signing up for that. I'm signing up for it. I'm not disappointed at all. Actually, these two match up really well. Neither one of these guys are afraid to back down. You think about Max, the last round, pointing at the center of the ring and saying, let's go. Well, guess what? Chandler is that guy to say, I'm all in. Let's go to the middle of the ring and let's let it fly. Chandler Max Holloway fight would be the perfect replacement fight. If you're looking at star power plus action, all three fights are great fights. But if you're thinking about worrying about pay-per-view dollars, pay-per-views being canceled, you're not going to have a lot of cancels putting Max Holloway in there against Chandler. That's a dream fight any UFC fan is going to want to see. Also, it's going to bring, like Conor McGregor, those casual fans. Now, I'm not saying Max pulls in the Conor McGregor numbers, but Max is maybe a level or so down from that. But he is box office. He is a guy that people will want to see. You look at the Styles mates fight. That is a fight that's going to deliver. Though that fight is a fight of the night candidate before you even step into the octagon. Okay, buckle my seatbelt. These two are not going to disappoint. So if you're going to lose Conor, you have to do that. But I look at this and I start thinking about this, and I said this could be the end of Conor. I don't mean it as in like, the UFC is going to be done with him. Not at all. But you look around and it's just been extended layoff after extended layoff for him. Problem after problem. it's not a place, the UFC is not a place to be a part-time fighter. And I feel like that's what Conor McGregor has become, is a part-time fighter. Everyone wants to see him. I want to see him. But when you look at how long it's been since he's won, that was Cowboy Cerrone. Since he was the double champ, he's won one time since 2016. He has so many other things going on. I'm not saying he's not worth seeing. I'm not saying that he is not a great fighter. But when you look at it and you say how long it's been since he's really had a big win, how long he goes between fights, the fact that he's coming off of a broken leg with Dustin Poirier, when he fought Dustin Poirier, it is that time to start thinking about, is it time for him to step away? Doesn't mean he can't be in the eye, but setting up pay-per-view events for a guy that you're not sure is going to show up, that's a part-time fighter, I don't think that's a good thing. It doesn't, I don't feel like it supports the fans or respects the game enough anymore. Conor, I feel like his actions make it so that he's kind of become, I don't want to say bigger, that he thinks he's bigger than the game. I'm not putting him down. I'm just saying it's hard to rely on a Conor McGregor as far as making him your marquee event, because you're not sure what's going to happen. Can you put that event on? And this is disappointing, because I was really looking forward to this Chandler fight, and I thought Conor could win. Not only did I think Conor could win, I thought he was going to win by spectacular knockout, which is going to set him up for some other big fights. But if he drops out of this, it's a disappointment.
Well, any change in a lineup can cause issues for an event, but when it is the main event of a pay-per-view of a major event with someone who garners as much,
it's Conor McGregor,
you're gonna have, it's gonna cause issues. And I think regardless of how anyone feels about Conor and his status as a fighter, it's something that needs to be looked at and potentially addressed.
It's kind of like if you buy Taylor Swift concert tickets, you're like, wow, I got front row seats to see Taylor Swift. And I don't know, Kelly Clarkson, Taylor Swift cancels for the fifth time. And you got Kelly Clarkson. People are happy to see Kelly Clarkson, but she's not Taylor Swift. I'm going to be upset.
Well, especially if it's the fifth time that it's been.
You know?
And maybe you had tickets every time.
Yeah. It's not good. So.
Well, we are going to take our first break for this segment. When we come back, we'll be talking about Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva and their boxing match this weekend. You're tuned into the GSMC MMA Podcast, and we will be right back.